Hi everybody, welcome back to Shell Star Stitches and Happy New Year to you all. I'm conscious I haven't done a video since, well, 24th, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. So apologies, I was very unwell over Christmas. I think in the end it was flu. I still got a bit of a cough left. Don't worry, I do look a bit red, but I've just had a bath. So that's why, because I like my bath hotter than the surface of the sun. Mainly because my chest has been hurting and I'm still feeling a bit bunged up, so that's why I had a bath. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all. Just want to say a big thank you for joining me for all of my lives. I appreciate I wasn't always at 5 o'clock, but for most of the time. So thank you for joining along the journey of all my advents. No plan as yet for the advents. But yeah, so I really enjoyed having you all along with me for the journey on that, so I really appreciate that. So I realised I hadn't shown you Advent where I finished. I actually completed it because I hadn't finished by Christmas Eve when I did my video, I don't believe. I've also got Imaginists, which I've now completed, which I want to show you. Had to be in, well, by tomorrow, by the 6th. Also what I'm currently now working on at the moment, and I kind of was working on this in between Advent. And then a couple of one crochet related thing and one non to show you, but I thought I'd share with you. Right, so let's start by showing you completed Advent. So it was Hansel and Gretel, so well done for those of you who guessed correctly. I wouldn't have done. So here we go. Here is my completed Hansel with his little pom-pom hat on. I haven't attached his hat. Here is his curly hair, which I did in straw. It's probably a bit light, but you know, that's fine. I don't think I made the bone correctly in the little basket, so I won't show you that because it looks a bit hideous. But that is my Hansel with his little crossed over, I mean, were they breeches, lederhosen? Not really sure. The worst bit, as some of you, I think Tired Mum, you said, was the embroidery, because yeah, I ended up with a lot of this, making these separately and attaching them rather than, unless it was like slip stitch traverse. I sort of fudged them. So he's got his little necktie on. There you go. You can see. So that is Hansel. Then here we have Gretel. I did non-matching hair colours for these. I didn't want them to have the same. I know they're brother and sister, but these booties, I made these laces by just doing a chain and then threading them through rather than trying to attempt to do them on the actual shoe themselves, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get it to work. And the same with the one on her top of her pinafore there. I threaded that through as well because I just couldn't get it to look right. And I did green on my bag. I didn't want to do gold because it wouldn't show up very well on the straw, so I had green left, so I chose to do green instead. I went rogue, but there she is with a little show you her hair. I kind of feel like I ballsed up her hair a bit, but she had like a real bald spot all the way down, so I just threaded a few bits through to make it look like a parting. And then she has her little plaits under her headdress. So yeah, it was a different one this year. There were obviously lots of different non-crochet elements sorry, excuse me, as part of the Advent, which I think quite a few people were disappointed by. I didn't mind it. I think probably had I paid the £100 myself, possibly, or maybe not. I loved obviously the pin badge and the patch. The bookmark I won't use because I'm really funny about my books, and I've tried using those metal ones before, and I find they catch on pages and rip pages, and I'm the type of person who doesn't bend the spine on my books. So I'll probably use it more with like a journal and planning journals and things, and if I'm doing mindful journals. But not with my actual, like my Harry Potters and things like that, because I've got not the very originals, but from about book 4 I think I've got the originals, and I don't want to ruin them. So and sorry, here is the swan. I think my swan looks a bit odd shaped, and I couldn't quite get a tail end here. I have wired the feathers wings because I found that they didn't stay up very well. I've only wired these two, I haven't wired the front one. But these long ones weren't sort of staying up, so I wired that. And it is very pretty with all the pearl beads. I do like that's different. The only thing I found when threading them up was I kept getting little white flecks everywhere. But there you go. And they apparently escaped on a swan. So they're supposed to sit on the swan and escape. There we go. So all done for this year for Advent. So it won't be mini dolls again for 2025 because Kerry has always said she does two years of the same type of item and then she'll do something different. So 2025 this year will be something different, right? Keep having my wire poke out. I probably need to trim that down a little bit. Yeah, so it'll be something different this year. So we shall see. So that is Advent completed. My patch is in the patch book and my pin is in my pin collection. Right, let's put those to one side so we don't lose those. Right, Imaginists. So this is box number 20. We had 75 grams of orange, 25 of oatmeal and 25 of cocoa. I drew my pattern out ages ago, like I want to say beginning of October. And I didn't actually obviously get time to make it because there was the gingerbread cow, then there was Advent basically starting, so I didn't get a chance until sort of in between Christmas and New Year. And I've called mine Crackle, which unfortunately I didn't look at the Imaginists page before uploading. Somebody else has also made one called Crackle with the similar sort of thing. Hopefully I didn't steal the name, I promise. I literally uploaded it and I've drawn the name on like my pattern. Had I not, I probably would have changed it just because I didn't want to feel like I was copying them. But we've obviously been on the same wavelength with the colours, so that's what it is. So this is Crackle. So this was inspired by Camp Toft when that all came out in their quarterly magazine. They built like a tent with I think a mini bonfire. So this was my interpretation. So we have a colour change, you can't see it from the front, but a colour change at the back into cocoa, and then we've done a couple of logs. My original pattern had the logs underneath the body, but for obvious reasons I changed it because it would have looked slightly questionable. So I decided to crisscross them and put them in the front instead of underneath like it was sitting on them. Didn't want it to appear rude. Legs are just, I think they're F14's legs out of the Imaginist, and it's standard head and body. And then what I've done is I've made up my own little marshmallows and just done them on a very thin chain, like they're on a stick, because you put marshmallows on a stick, don't you, to roast them on the fire. So the marshmallow arms, and then these are all the flames, but I wanted them to stand out obviously from the orange body, so I put double crochet traverse in oatmeal around the edges, because flames do go different colours, don't they, and the whiter they get the hotter they are. And we did the same on the head. So basically that is Crackle. That is my pattern. So if you are on Instagram and you haven't been over and looked at the Ed's Imaginist page, go and have a look, and if you wouldn't mind liking it, that would be fab. But yeah, that is my entry. So it's got to be in by tomorrow. So I have already posted it. Judging starts tomorrow on the entries, so yeah, quite like it. It's got the arms swing quite nicely, the marshmallows. I was going to do 3, but then when I made them up I was like, no, 3 will be too many, so we'll do 2 on each arm. There you go. We'll see how we get on, how we fare. I'd love to win a gold one day. I think this is, I started on, I can't remember what box number I started on. I think I've been doing it about maybe just over a year and a half. I think I've done 4, 5, 7 entry. I think that might be my 7th entry, or maybe my 8th. Maybe it's been 2 years I've done it for. I need to go back and have a look. Yeah, so there we go. Current project, I'm still, because now I've gone back to, and I was doing this in between Advent anyway, Flora Society for 2024, because I got very behind. Normally I was, as soon as it came, I was on it, but that hasn't happened this year for whatever reason. So I think I showed you this already, the centipede. I think this is called Millicent the centipede, or Millie the centipede. That has been made. We did, and I'm not sure if I've shown you the gooseberry. Get that to focus on the gooseberry. There you go. I'm not sure this top is, I feel like it needs to be bent over a bit more, but there's the gooseberry, however you want to say it. I have done the apple core as well now. I think I may have overstuffed mine slightly. So it does have a little bottom bit, and then the core does have a bit of a dent in the top. So there's a gooseberry, no, apple core. I'm just obsessed with saying the word gooseberry. And then I'm now working on, I think I've got one more to make, but I didn't do it last night because I was too tired. In here we have grapes. So we have lots of grapes. I've got 4 there. I started some a few weeks ago, so I think some are a bit smaller, but that's all right because grapes are small. So I've got 5 here and 4 here. So yeah, I've got nine grapes. I've got 1 more to make, and then I need to make the stalk to join them all together. And then that is summer done. I've just noticed I've got a little end poking out here. Where did that come from? That's poking its way out. I'm gonna have to poke that back in. Look. Sorry. So yes, that will be summer done because I did spring already. So then that'll be summer, and then I've got autumn and winter to go. But that's my plan, is to work through Flora Society for 2024. Then I can move on to the next project after that. I am a serial finisher, so I am going to continue until this Flora sub is done. I have made a conscious decision. I've cancelled my Imaginist for the moment because the January one was about to charge, purely because I realised I've got so much yarn, I need to start to use up stash rather than paying and buying in more. I'm going to try and do not a no spend year this year, but I'm going to try and not buy as much like yarn and stuff, and I need to use up what I've got because I have a lot of stuff here, I've realised. I mean, I should have realised that a long time ago. It's like state the obvious. But yeah, so I've cancelled Imaginists purely so because I've got on the back of my door here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. They're like over the door storage units thing, like little bags, and I've got 10 full of Toft yarn. Some of it is Dolls Club, some of it is special yarns and Dye Club, but the rest in between is all just standard colours. So, and unfortunately they're not in any particular order, so I'm going to have to open the vacuum bags I put them in, but I need to start using those up. So that is my aim for this year. So Flora Society, finish summer. That's my aim. Just realised I put some books on some. Somebody on, I think it was a lady called Caroline, who I have met at Q, at the last Q. I think they were on the table behind us that won the quiz. Posted on the Toft Alex group, and there's probably still time if you live near one, about the range, the shop, the range, having some elf on the shelf stands reduced. Hers were reduced to 70p. Mine were not. Mine was still £1, but it's £1 for 2 stands. They've not got quite a chunkier bottom as the top ones, obviously, because they are thin plastic, but 50p a stand for if you want to use them for your Toft makes is a bargain. You get 2 in a box. So 2 in a box, and mine was still £1. I think Caroline paid 70p. They only had 3 boxes left in my local range. So if you live near one and they've still got a load of sale stuff, go and look up in the Christmas. This was in with like the Christmas decorations. I hunted the toys. Yeah, it was like in the back of one of the bits. I found all the elf on the shelf bits, but yeah. So it just comes in sections. So that comes and then that comes. So you just put it together, which is like normal doll stands anyway. But excuse you if you can hear husband shouting, he's watching the football. So there you go. So worth purchasing for 50p each, even if they are full price, or 35p each. They're in the sale in your local one. Just want to let you know, sharing is caring, because I learnt it from somebody else. So right, I'll do the crochet item first, and then I'll show you the other item. So I am a bit OCD, I think, but I'm not obviously clinically confirmed, and a bit, well, I am control freak about things, but I like to write stuff down. This is where I'm going with this. I think I've shown you this a long time ago. I created this notebook on a site called Lulu crochet stash. This was a temporary, it was somebody else's cover. I think I've got some in here. I have, but they're tucked away. This was just a trial one to see if it printed okay, and then I changed it to a picture of one of my granny squares on the front. So disclaimer, this is not my picture. I borrowed this off someone, but they were available to buy on Lulu, which is why also I changed it to one of my own pictures, because I can't use somebody else's. But this was just for me at the beginning. I'll show you the blank pages at the back if you haven't seen this before. It's just a way, it was either to record stash that you've got in kits and then you can write in when you've made them and add a photo, but I use it as a crochet record. So it's like my crochet journal of all the makes I've ever made. So it starts at the very beginning where I learnt to crochet, and I went straight into the Wee Woolies bunnies in February 2018. So I literally am documenting everything I've made, all pictures of everything. As you can see, I'll flip through when I made them, what I've used, what hook size, what yarn, if I can remember. So as you can see, everything in there. So what I've been doing today is I have been updating, because I looked at this and I realised the last bit that I filled in was December 2023, when I finished the back of my Marauders map blanket there. And then I've got hat and my advent last year. So I've got a whole year's worth. So I've been printing out pictures. I've got a little Canon selfie printer. So I've stuck them all in, cut them all up. I print 4 per 6x4 sheet of paper. So yeah, I can get quite a few. And then I just print them out, stick them in. Then I need to sit and fill in all of the information. So these are my makes for 2024, including, as we can see, my Santa hat. I put all the Christmas decorations away on Friday. Guess what I found? My original Santa hat. I knew it would happen. So I will pop a picture up in here, because I now have 2. But I made hubby try one on and it fits him. So as much as he hates Christmas, he's got a hat for next year. I knew it would happen. I knew I'd find it, and it was in the most obvious of place. Well, not obvious. It was in a box, literally right at the front. But it had a Sugar and Sloth pin advent in it that I wasn't getting out for this year, and it had a label on it with that. And I didn't open it, and it was on the top of there. So anyway, I found it. But right, this video, I need to tag this in this video. This time next year, or December next year, when I'm asking you all where I put my hats, they are in a vacuum sealed bag with my Sirdar gingerbread cow in the loft. So they should be easy for me to find, but I'm putting it in here where the hats are. I've taken a photo on my phone as well of the vacuum sealed bag in the hope that I can go back and look. But yeah, I found it. So that's my crochet stash book, which, yeah, I've got to carry on filling in all of the information now for this year, and then I'm up to date. And I've nearly completed it. I've only got this much space left. So this is, obviously it pads out where you put photos in, but I think it was like 200 pages, or it might have, no, can't be that many, maybe 100. Obviously you can fit in quite a lot, because I've started February 2018 and it's now 2025, so that's almost 7 years in here. Depends how much you crochet. Yeah, if anybody does want a fancy to order one, they can order one. It's on the site if it's still there. I need to check. But yeah, I created them as either a ring bound one or this one, which it does say on the side. And then it just says on the back what you can use it for. So yeah, they are available. I can't remember, they're not very expensive how I had to set them up. Hopefully they're still on there. But yeah, so I've been printing that out today. And then the other item, this item led me to do this really, because I was like, oh, I wonder how long I haven't done that for, a whole year. I've been eyeing these up on Instagram for a while, again along the vein of I like to document things, and they were having a Christmas, post-Christmas January sale. I think it's because they wrapped a load up in Christmas paper, that was the only reason. Bucket list book. It's got space for 50, I think, in here. Let me have a look. show you, because it's got a contents page at the beginning, if I can get to it. Yeah, so it's got space for up to 50 bucket list items. So you write in your own. I've got mine in there. And you basically pick your own and you fill them in. There's at the back, there is a note section, and there is also bucket list ideas if you want ideas. I think you're supposed to fill in all 50 first and then complete them, but I've been going through and putting in things that I know I've always wanted to do, and just filling them in that way. So I've got swimming with dolphins that I've been lucky enough to do 4 times, Segway, what else have I got in here? Seeing the Northern Lights, having purple hair. I had that just when we went into lockdown, helpful. Pottery painting, learning to sew and make clothes. So I've just, again, printed 4 pictures per thing. Meeting Kerry, there we go. Those are all my pictures starting from this is the very first time I met Kerry in October 2021, when she's wearing, if you can see, a plastic mask because of COVID. Tattoos. What else have we got in here? Oh yeah, growing my own veggies, which I think I told you about, didn't I, in a couple of videos. Winning Toft trophies. And then I think I've got one more, trying wheel pottery, and then having to fix the bowl that got broken with kintsugi, I think it's called. Gold, you know, like the gold glue. So I'm only up to 11, but I've got some other things written down that I want to add in, but it's just, you kind of detail when you did it and things like that. So I quite like it. So again, I've printed those pictures on my Canon selfie printer. Just sat and done that today, because I like doing weird things like this. I don't know if anybody else does or if it's just me. I used to do Bridget Jones style diaries as a kid, so that's probably why I like to record things. My husband says I'm always after validation. It's like, you know, when I say, does this look all right? It's like, yeah, looks all right. I'm like, but does it look good? He's like, you're always after, not in a horrible way, but he's like, you require validation, don't you? I'm like, yes, just give me validation. I need to know I'm doing a good job with things. That'd be it from me. Sorry, I'm still a bit like tight-chested. My face has calmed, has it? No, my face hasn't calmed down. It's still raging hot from the bath, but never mind. Yeah, so I'm going to go and either fill in this book. I might not fill in the book today in case I get it wrong. I might fill in to carry on with the crochet, we'll see. For tonight, back to work tomorrow. I mean, I was in Thursday for one day, so I eased myself in gently, but back to a full week this week. Yeah, that's it. We're New Year. I need to sort out a list of projects to do for this year. I've got obviously an ever-increasing Toft list, plus some other non-Toft items as well. But just the aim is to continue to use up stash and to make things like Dolls Club. My husband's been paying for me for a couple of years now, and I've only made Beatrix so far. So I need to make sure I get on that. Trouble is, it's displaying them. I've got Beatrix, Charles Darwin, the Queen and the King, and a Corgi. And that's all I've got space for, really. And I don't just want to make them and kind of shove them away. But then my house is just not big enough for all these things that I've got, including the Lego. Anyway, it's another story. Right, I'm waffling now. Thank you, as always, for joining. Sorry, he's making noise downstairs again with the football. This is why I come up and have a bath and do these things while he's watching it. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Again, Happy New Year. And thank you to those who joined me all through December. Appreciate you joining along every day and chatting to me in the comments. We did have some weird people join, which I had to keep booting out. I've never experienced that before, but yeah, I'm not sure if I booted them out correctly, but I think so. But yeah, have a good week. And I'll obviously get into routine now. I'm back to weekly videos with you as to what we've been doing. And yeah, join me along on the 2025 journey. Have a good week all. Thanks as always for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.